I'm a clinical psychologist, and you're watching me on the Dr. Michael Show on adviceradio.com. Today we're talking about relationships, and we're about to go back on the air in a few minutes. We're going to take some calls. We're going to have an interesting guest on, and hope you can join us. Thanks. And we're back with the Dr. Michael Show. I'm Dr. Michael Whitman on adviceradio.com. Today our show is about relationships. What we were talking about in the first segment is a couple different theorists, Buss, Pat Allen, and how relationships have gotten sort of twisted in 2009. Basically, women have become more powerful economically, politically, which has been great. But somehow I think this may have impacted the success of relationships because gender roles have gotten more complicated and confused for some people. So we want to see if we can shed some light on that. I also gave the statistic that 50% of women would marry a man if he was ugly as long as he was rich, which I found to be very interesting. And I doubt that would be true for men, marrying a woman if she was rich and ugly. So we're sort of wired a different way, apparently. And I'm not here to judge that. More, I'm here to explore that, what that means for us as a people, and how we can, learn from the research, be more happy, and get more fulfilling relationships. So, likewise, when you call in, I'm not going to try to judge you. I'm just going to try to figure out what's going on with you. We're also going to try to address some cultural impact on relationships. Certain cultures have different norms. They want to date within the culture more. Other cultures, that's not as much of an imperative. So I may ask you what your cultural background is and how that's impacted you. And like I said before, we're going to have a guest, and she's going to shed some lights and give some perspective from a female. One of our esteemed guests just walked in. Her name is Jeannie Kim, and we're very happy to have her on the show. She wants to...
Testing 1, 2, 3.
She sounds like she's good to go.
Okay.
Okay, hi Jeannie.
Hi, how are you? Hi everyone.
Do you want me to tell them a little bit about you?
Sure.
I don't know Jeannie that well, but she has done a lot of interesting things, including modeling. She was a world women of wrestling wrestler, and as well, I believe, real estate. So she's done a lot of different things. We're also interested to hear a woman's perspective today. And so that's a lot of the reasons why I'm glad she's with us today. So what do you think about relationships these days, and what are your own experiences of dating in Los Angeles?
Well, I think if you live in a major metropolitan area, especially with the whole internet access, whether you're online, on Facebook or Match.com or MySpace, it's a different world out there. It's tough. Everyone's replaceable, everyone's disposable. Let's not even talk about, let's find a serious relationship where we can one day get married. That's almost like a pipe dream even. It's not attainable. Just looking for someone past 3 months and being on an exclusive level is even tough.
So Seriously. This is interesting to hear from Jeannie, because if you're listening on the radio or the internet, you can't see her, but she's a very attractive woman. You would figure she'd have an easy time dating. But from what I'm gathering, and I hope you don't mind if I ask about your own personal experiences and even try to provide some insight. Is that okay?
Sure, absolutely.
I'm sort of surprised that somebody like you finds dating difficult, because I would think, okay, if you're a girl in LA, dating would be fairly easy if you're very attractive and have a lot of choices of men, which is, I think, what a lot of people would assume when they see a pretty girl like Jeannie. But she's sort of saying that she feels that a lot of men treat women as disposable.
No, it's and vice versa, just people in general. And it's not that it's tough for me to date. I'm very selective. It's really easy for me to get a date. That's not my objective. It really depends on what your objective is. Are you out there just to hang out and be friends? Are you into something casual? Are you looking for a relationship? Or are you looking for something more longer term than that? What are your goals? So it just depends on what your goals are. It's just different perspective. But as far as dating in LA, is it tough for me? Not really, but again, how selective are you? That's a tough one. And once you find someone, it's tough enough to find someone you really click with the right connection and chemistry. That's hard in itself. But you know, to pass that being exclusive on that note, that's really tough. To make it past that 3 months of being exclusive. Because your true colors come out in that 3rd month.
Okay. Well, I want to talk about that in the next segment, about exclusivity, because I think that's an interesting topic. And I think it is very different for men and for women about being monogamous. Before you were here, we also talked about what women look for in men and what men often look for in women. So we're also going to get into that. Looks like I'm starting to hear music, so we're probably about done with this section. Here on the Dr. Michael Show, we have Dr. Michael Whitman, me, and Jeannie Kim, and we'll be back in a few. Thank you.